Chapter 5, 155. Dancing Snow Claws, Appearance of the Building. The location to create the spirit spring had already been decided. Shiwu brought the spring egg goo and went with Manduo after making the preparations. He starting using his primeval essence and sent it into the lasting goo and continuing goo before injecting it into the spring egg goo. The spring egg goo floated in the air, absorbing primeval essence as it moved up and down slowly. For the next 18 days, Shiwu slept 3 hours a day, rushing to eat his meals and settle his excretion. Although it was tough, the effects were showing. As he continued to inject primeval essence, the spring egg goo was shining with a brilliant light. These days, Manduo had come to inspect again, and upon seeing this, he was overjoyed. We are almost there. There are mild cracks on the spring egg goo already. Once it breaks, we will succeed. It has been tough on Elder Shiwu. Not at all, not at all. Shiwu refined the goo while humbly replying. He was mentally fatigued, his body had gotten thinner. With his cultivation, forcefully activating a rank 5 goo was very tiring. But if he succeeded, it would be a huge service to the tribe. Manduo continued. During this elder meeting, Lord Father had specially mentioned it. Lord Shiwu's hard work is evident in everyone's eyes. If you have any requests, we will try to satisfy it. Shiwu was extremely grateful. I am ashamed with Lord Tribe Leader's care. How can I go overboard and request for more? But I have a question. Oh, please speak. Young Master Manduo. I feel that Hongyan Valley had been getting colder these days. The surrounding vegetation and beasts have been freezing to death. Manduo's expression turned ugly. Hongyan Valley was indeed facing a problem. It had been mentioned during the last few tribe meetings. The result was the underground magma supporting Hongyan Valley had been reduced due to unknown reasons. This was different from historical records. In the earlier meeting, tribe leader Mantu flew into a rage, wanting everyone to think of a solution. At the same time, they had to conceal this matter to prevent their morale from sinking. Elder Shiwu is at a crucial moment of refining the spirit spring. I should not tell him this bad news, or his mind will waver and ruin this important matter. Thinking so, Manduo lied and reassured Shiwu. Shiwu did not sense anything wrong. He was about to speak, but suddenly his expression changed, shouting, "Oh no, it's the flying hand snow!" Manduo turned around and was shocked. How can there be flying hand snow in Hongyan Valley? Only to see that in the sky, fierce winds were blowing as palm-sized snowflakes carrying the aura of rank 5. Goo descended slowly. "Oh no, come quickly and protect the spring egg goo," Manduo shouted, calling the nearby goo masters over. But the blizzard was powerful. The wind cut like razors, and the might of heaven and earth descended. After resisting it for a while, everyone's starting to fall into a disadvantage. Snow monster! Snow monsters have appeared. Trouble comes in pairs. The blizzard gathered and formed into a 6-meter-tall snow monster. The defense of the goo masters was easily broken. In the sky, large numbers of flying hand snow gathered into a huge palm. Under everyone's furious and indignant, while completely helpless stares, the giant snow hand grabbed the spring egg goo in the air and squeezed. Crack! Ees! With a light sound, the snow hand disintegrated. The snowflakes landed on the ground. The rank 5 spring egg goo inside had vanished already. The silver light shone like a miasma gently raining down on Imperial Court blessed land. Howl, howl! Azure Wolf group sprinted on the ground. Some ran in the air while others were dashing with their claws. Even though there were goo masters feeding them in the sacred palace, these wolves still desired freedom. They wanted to be ferocious beasts roaming the sky and not canaries trapped in cages. As their master, Fang Yuan let them do as they wished. He himself was spreading his eagle wings as he flew in the sky, looking at the ground below him. It was Dichu inherited. Light in the soil, shine up to 100,000 feet high, swimming in the sky for 100 li, praising plum-fragrant snow. What does this sentence mean? Fang Yuan pondered. He had been coming over to explore the inheritance grounds every few days. Instinct told him that this Dichu inheritance was not simple. Thus, every time he went out, he used the excuse of walking his wolves to train them and practice his manipulation skills. But even so, he could not stay for long. Fang Yuan was now a person with high status, second to only He Lulan. His every movement was scrutinized by everyone. He was no longer as invisible as before. This time he had no findings, and to prevent suspicion, he could only leave for now. Even though he could completely occupy this entire area using his status now, Fang Yuan did not do that. If this inheritance had high value, even if he had great strength, others would compete with him. He did not have Huangjin bloodline. To enter 88 Truyang building, he needed He Lulan's guest token. However, he had been sending people to scout the area. The reason was naturally the Azure Wolf Group. Every time he went out to hunt with the Azure Wolf Group, there would be a route. Before moving out, he would send Gu Masters to scout out the path for him and go to the path that had the most prey. There were 5 to 6 routes to choose from each time, but each one of them would be close to Dichu inheritance. One must act flawlessly. Fang Yuan followed the route that he planned and continued hunting with the Azure Wolf Group. There were a lot of beasts and resources inside Imperial Court Blessed Land, especially near the small towers. There were swarms of worms and countless wild go. 88 Truyang building was something only a small number of Gu Masters had the chance to enter. Most Gu Masters would roam in the huge Blessed Land, subdue wild Gu, or find inheritances. Fang Yuan followed the trail and found many Gu Masters. As for the area near Dichu inheritance, there were naturally many Gu Masters passing by. Fang Yuan was not afraid that Dichu Mountain would get taken by someone. In fact, he was hoping that someone would find it and trigger it. He would get news of it by then and would be able to strike easily. After all, he had already used his strength to snatch an inheritance back on Xingju Peak. Rumble, rumble! There were some loud sounds coming from the ground. Fang Yuan rode the Azure Myriad Wolf King and looked down, seeing a small tower shining with a bright light sinking into the ground slowly. Fang Yuan was not surprised. In the progress of 88 Truyang buildings' gradually appearance, the small towers in Imperial Court Blessed Land would slowly sink into the ground. These small towers were like nests that were filled with all the wild goo that had grown in the last 10 years. Many people guessed. The wild goo in these small towers were the energy source to form 88 Truyang building. In a way, these small towers were a portion of the 88 Truyang building. This guest had never gotten confirmation. Gu immortals who could confirm this were unable to enter Imperial Court Blessed Land, and those mortals who could enter were way too weak compared to Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. They could not decipher it. But Fang Yuan was an exception. 88 Truyang building has an intriguing design. It is truly a work of heaven. These small towers are indeed a portion of Truyang building. Fang Yuan was far more knowledgeable than other Gu immortals in this aspect because he controlled the most complete information regarding 88 Truyang building. This source of information was Lang Ya Land Spirit. The land spirit in his life was the rank 8 Gu immortal long-hair ancestor who created the 88 Truyang building. Wait! Fang Yuan's body shook. A flash of inspiration appeared in his heart, sweeping away the confusion in his heart. This moment, he finally found the strange thing about Dichu. There was no small tower near Dichu. Indeed, that is the case. Fang Yuan's eyes shone with brilliance. In the last few times he brought the Azure Wolves to hunt, he would either be in the sky near Dichu or the ground near it. Now that he recalled it, he realized the peculiarity of Dichu. By logic, every 8 li should have a small tower, and every small tower corresponds to the regions in northern plains. But near Dichu, there is nothing. Thinking so, Fang Yuan got excited. This was a huge breakthrough. Following this lead, he could potentially unravel the mystery of Dichu inheritance. But Fang Yuan did not turn back. Rushing over in an excited manner like this was asking to be suspected. He controlled his excited emotions and continued on the route he had prepared. The Azure Wolves moved out from the Sacred Palace, and after one round, returned. The Sacred Palace was like a mountain peak. The 88 True Yang building, at its peak, was still nurturing. The aurora it emitted was covering the entire sacred palace. The grand and beautiful sacred palace was shrouded in a mysterious and powerful aura. Fang Yuan went out to hunt every 6 or 7 days with the Azure Wolf Group. But plans cannot keep up with circumstances. 3 days later, the aurora gathered into one point and started taking form. The first layer of 88 True Yang building had formed. This was a joyful news, causing the sacred palace to go into a commotion. At once, everyone's hot topic was about this building. Of course, most of the Gu masters could only watch. He Lu Lan went in excitedly. Several hours later, he returned in a pathetic state, wounds covering his body. His injuries were not light, but they could not conceal the shock in his eyes. During the second expedition, he brought many He tribe Gu masters. He tribesmen had the bloodline of Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. They could freely enter and exit True Yang building without restriction. During such times, tribesmen were the most reliable. Why was there a need to share with outsiders what one could devour alone? When He Lu Lan returned, he looked extremely tired. As for the Gu masters who went in, only 60% returned. Thereafter, all sorts of rumors and information spread. They were all regarding True Yang building. Some said that the True Yang building was a work of heaven. It was spectacular. Some said that it was difficult to explore. Every step was precarious. Some said that the rewards for passing it was very enticing. By now, everyone was moved.